Today's result, and obviously Liverpool drawing as well. You know, they've had a difficult time after Christmas. They got that win just before Christmas. 5 losses on the bounce, conceded a number of goals, not scoring enough. And it's just about those fine margins, those slight mistakes that then compounded mean that they aren't winning football matches, which is really tough for them. And this game, hopefully the crowd is on their side. They get a big performance. They need a big win. That togetherness, galvanising them and getting them some momentum going into the next part of the season.
Yeah, let's just break that down a little bit further, Neats, because whilst they're not scoring, also leaky at the back, how crucial is it that they keep it watertight today?
Yeah, well, they have the worst XG in the league in terms of conceding chances, so they have to be really disciplined, really organised, and limit Aston Villa from creating anything really clear-cut. And the way they're going to do that is staying tight in their units, communicating, and making sure that they limit errors as well.
Can we just go back to last weekend? It felt like a really, really important and a really emotionally heavy day for Leicester. Unfortunately, they found themselves 1-0 down early on.
Yeah, 1-0 down early on, and it was a real disappointment. It all started with the press. And for me, you know, you've got someone like Lehmann. She's doing really well here. If it goes to the right back, she's got the passing line completely covered. Also got the passing lane of the player just behind. Then you've got McLaughlin that needs to kind of have that body shape to stop that pass through them. The pass goes straight through them. 5 Leicester players completely cut out, and then they're straight onto them in the 18-yard box. Can Thibaut clear the front post? Can they lock on in the box? Can they get those recovery runs? But it all starts with those fine margins, body shape, angles, and once you make one mistake, it just feels like that's just compounded for a number of errors. And obviously to go down 1-0 early against Liverpool, that really kind of is a sucker punch for them. So hopefully a start early this afternoon.
That would have thrown the game plan right out the window straight away, and when you're not able to lean on goal scorers at the other end, you find yourself in a bit of trouble. Perhaps Aston Villa have a little bit of magic there. They have something that they can lean on in the final third.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Kirsty Hansen's been exceptional all season. Scored 9 goals for the club so far, and she's that focal point for Aston Villa. She scores all types of goals as well, and I think she's got an eye for where the goal is now. And you see when she picks up the ball and she drifts inside, she can just make magic happen, especially when she's running at defenders. And you see here she's working off the right, comes off her left foot, and it's an unbelievable strike, isn't it, Ellen? And again here she can run into space as well, which causes problems for defenders. A nice comfortable finish there, but again another blinder. We've seen so many of them across the season, but she will do this tireless running in beyond defences throughout the game. And you know, the worst thing for any defender is worrying about that space in behind you, especially when you've got a quick dynamic player like Kirsty Hansen.
Seems to be able to strike the ball with so much power with very little backlift. Elsa, I almost don't need to ask you, but what's your favourite goal from all of them?
Just that absolute rocket from outside the box. I don't have that anywhere in my locker, so just to admire that from afar. Yeah, her running, she's so tenacious, she's hard working. She's been their star performer for this season for Aston Villa.
A real variety of goals there though, timing of her runs, so much pace as well.
Absolutely, and it all has to come together, the fruition of that. Obviously working hard on the training pitch. Obviously she's so quick, but then she's able to get her feet in the right areas to be able to pass it into the goal. She's calm, she's composed, and hopefully we'll see some of that this afternoon.
Can we just go back to last week for Villa as well? A really, really impressive performance against Man City, and they'll be disappointed not to come away with a win there.
Well, especially after that first half performance where they created a number of chances, and prior to that fixture they had 4 consecutive losses, and you go and get a clean sheet against the league's best attack, which is actually the platform that they can jump off from for today's match. If they start with those standards and build on those brilliant basics, they'll probably go on to create good chances.
Yeah, it feels strange to say against a side like Man City, but Aston Villa could have been out of sight. Man City have been so ruthless in front of goal, but a really impressive shutout.
Really impressive, and I can imagine they are kicking themselves at the same time. The amount of chances they created in that first half, could they have capitalised on Man City having a little bit of an off day? But Aston Villa, so compact in their defensive shape, really front-footed in their defending. They created so many chances, like you said, pretty much even on possession as well. Can they take this into this afternoon? Can they have that consistency in performance? And they need points on the board, as do Leicester this afternoon.
Both sides will need a ruthless edge today. Kick-off not long away. Time just here from both managers with Joe Curry.
Well, Rick, we know you're involved in an intense battle at the bottom of the table. Will anything less than a win do today?
I think what we've looked at in terms of the last fortnight is not only the way we prepare to play, it's about all the will now. It's in terms of, it's a mini tournament coming up now, so can we take every day in a positive manner, but it's the way, not the way that you play. It's going to be a lot about your personality and your character and sticking together and ensuring that, you know, from the very first whistle we're in the right mindset to ensure that we get this crowd behind us. They're fantastic supporters, and we've got to make sure that they've got something to shout about.
Well, Natalia, what are we saying about today? Is it a case of if you win, you can start looking up the table rather than over your shoulder?
Well, what we are thinking is in using the good feeling that we got from last weekend and try to build momentum, try to break our bad momentum, so go back to the winning feeling. That's the only thing we are thinking. And what do we want? We are ready. We had a good week, and we are planning just to get the 3 points back to Birmingham, and from there let's see. But yeah, of course our ambitions are to finish the season as strong as possible, and to do so we need wins, and we are here. With big ambition.
You brought in some experience obviously in January, but it is a young squad. How are they dealing with this pressure?
It's all brand new to them, so obviously in terms of the grey hair and the wrinkles, we make sure that they understand it's a privileged position. It doesn't matter in terms of where you are in the WSL 1, humility, and ensure that we give everything we can to this club.
Well, Rick Passmore's seen a lot of togetherness from his group, but needs that team spirit to turn into points. Time to hand you over to our commentary team of Lindsay Johnson and first, Vicky Sparks.
Thank you, Ben. Hello, everyone. Yes, time is running out for Leicester City to save their season. Win today and they'll move out of the relegation zone on goal difference. But winning is something that has proved elusive this season. Only 2 league victories across the whole campaign. And they haven't tasted victory since mid-December. Aston Villa, 8 points above Leicester, haven't been in the best of form late either, but earned a very impressive point against league leaders Manchester City last time out. Can they build on that? Can they shift their momentum, as manager Natalia Arroyo has just told us there, as they look to push up the table in these remaining few games of this Women's Super League season? As the games tick away, the pressure continues to build at the bottom of the table. Will Leicester City be able to channel Rick Passmore's words there and see it as a privilege rather than something to creak under? Missy Goodwin, who struggled with injury this season, makes her first league start of the campaign for Leicester in place of Rachel Williams. That is one of 3 changes from the side that suffered that damaging defeat to fellow strugglers Liverpool. Chantal Swaby replaces Sarah Mayling, who's ineligible against her parent club, and Emma Janssen is in for Olivia McLaughlin, who, like Williams, drops to the bench. Villa, unsurprisingly, are unchanged from that impressive goalless draw with Manchester City. Ellie Roebuck keeps her place in goal ahead of Sabrina D'Angelo again and makes her 100th WSL appearance, as does Noelle Moritz, who has still never scored in the competition. Will today finally be the day? Well, I'm delighted to have Lindsay Johnson alongside me for this one. And Lindsay, a couple of key players that you want to have a look at before this game, and one of them is Shannon O'Brien for Leicester.
Yeah, of course, and I think Shannon O'Brien's been one of Leicester's very few bright sparks, I'm afraid. She offers that versatility in midfield and forward areas, and it's a direct running and sharp movement that make her a threat. She loves to drive at defenders, and she's confident playing in those tight spaces. She's become a key outlet whenever Leicester look to break with pace, and Villa have to have a real eye on her today. And then also for Villa, Lucia Kendall. I think she's a really exciting young midfielder, and she's had a very good engine. She works tirelessly in the centre of the park. She's composed on the ball, and she's very good at breaking up play in those midfield areas. For such a young player, she's got great positional awareness, and she reads the game well. If Villa are going to control that tempo in the midfield park, I think Kendall will be at the heart of it.
Well, our woman in the middle today is Stacey Pearson. And she takes charge of a game that has so much riding on it for Leicester City. This season, as they reshuffle the WSL, even if they finish bottom, it would be a relegation playoff against the side that finishes third in WSL 2, rather than just that's it, relegation. But of course, that's a risk that as a player, as a manager and as a club, you are desperate not to take.
100%. You do not want to be at the foot of the table, and obviously Leicester are here today, and they need to get something out of this game and score a goal, get that goal scoring opportunities and create some goal scoring opportunities in that attacking area.
So underway at the King Power, a Leicester victory will take them out of the relegation zone on goal difference ahead of West Ham. Well, there is the Leicester City manager, Rick Passmore. Said after the Liverpool game, that damaging defeat, they need to keep the belief in who we are and how we play. But in these early stages, it is Aston Villa surging forwards. Good interception at the back for Leicester by Chantal Swaby.
Good defender from Swaby. Hansen is going to be the player that they know they've got to keep an eye on. She's had such an excellent start to this season, 9 goals, really the focal point of this Villa attack.
Here is Patton. Jean-Francois. She did face questions about her future at Aston Villa, Natalia Arroyo, after that 7-3 loss to Tottenham last month. I mean, Lindsay, it was quite a remarkable, quite a bizarre game, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a bonkers game. I did do that game, and it was end-to-end, and every time Aston Villa did get themselves back in the game, because they did at times, they just looked so vulnerable at the back, obviously conceding 7. And that's been sort of the theme of their season, the amount of goals they've conceded. They've conceded 36 goals this season, the most in the league. And you just can't do that if you want to compete up the top half of the table.
Good pressure put on by Sam Tierney, the Leicester captain. No doubt with by Orion Jean-Francois, the big money signing from Chelsea in January. Roebuck just taking her time. Aston will complete the clearance. And the free kick eventually has gone the way of Leicester City. over on that far side. They had retained possession, but Arley fouled. Free kick Leicester.
It's interesting what Rick Passmore said at the start about the game will come down to personality, sort of resilience, character, and I think that's what he, you know, throughout the years, he's such an experienced manager, Rick Passmore, and that's what he kind of embeds in his team, really, because the last few games now, it is about just digging in, and if you can get a result, it doesn't matter how you get it, just get that result.
Here is Ashley Neville, just leaves it in fact for Hannah Kane. Santilli will chase, skips it into the arms of Ellie Roebuck. What do you make of the goalkeeping battle at Aston Villa, Lindsay, at the moment?
You know, I think it's interesting. It's always good to have healthy competition all over the pitch, but obviously in that #1 position, and Ellie Roebuck, we know what she's capable of and her attributes, but D'Angelo is such a fantastic keeper as well, so it's a healthy battle, and you know, from an English perspective, it's always good to see the English goalkeeper getting the nod.
Yeah, she was in the latest England squads. Ellie Roebuck didn't feature, but that is where she wants to be, in contention under Serena Biegman. Has been mostly #2 for this season, but had just been battling with D'Angelo for that #1 spot. Then D'Angelo picked up an injury, so Roebuck was deputising. D'Angelo back on the bench for the last game against Manchester City, but if you are part of what was only the 3rd side to keep a clean sheet against City across the last 2 WSL seasons, you're not going to get dropped as a goalkeeper for the next game, are you? Hanson's delivery, good punch by Leipzig. Aston Villa still calm, it's Taylor. Nicely worked, once more. Hanson's delivery, cleared away by Julie Thibault.
Really good work down this left-hand side from Aston Villa. Niswanger getting nice and high, but it's a link-up play with Hanson there, and she gets a lovely ball into the box, but Leipzig deals really well with it, gets a nice, strong, healthy punch.
So it will be the Netherlands international Lynn Wilms to take this corner kick for Aston Villa. Started brightly, wicked delivery, dealt with almost underneath the crossbar for another Aston Villa corner.
It's a really good set piece in that area, really hard in the, just at the front of the 6-yard box as well. Well defended in the end by Leicester.
Well, the curve of the ball just kissing the quadrant there, if that. As Wilms sends it in, referee's happy. And so is Janina Leipzig in the Leicester goal.
It just went to that far post area, not enough on it in the end, and an easy one for Leipzig.
It has been a season that makes pretty grim reading for Leicester. As we say, just 2 victories across the WSL campaign. They have lost their last 6 games in all competitions, and the last 3 without scoring. So if you're looking for fine margins and small wins, just things to build on, getting the ball in the back of the net has to be the first port of call for Leicester City this afternoon.
And I think the confidence that would give this Leicester side, like you say, to score. They've scored 8 goals all season, which just isn't good enough. You can't compete in this league when you're scoring so few goals. And it's unbelievable, but, you know, scoring that goal when you're in this position, what that'll do for a psychological point of view and a confident boost.
And it is worth saying at this early stage in the game as well, as Neville prepares to take this throw for Leicester, that both sides are missing a host of senior players still through injury and the Asian Cup as well. Disappointment for Leicester's Emily Van Egmond, losing the final to Japan, but huge delight for Aston Villa's Maya Hijikata, who lifted the trophy. And to do it in Sydney as well. Hugely impressive from Japan. Here is Hansen. Kendall dispossessed. Taylor will pick it up.
I think what's good from a Leicester point of view so far is they're starting much higher. Sometimes they're guilty of really dropping off, and at times playing with that one lone striker. It looks like at times they've got two up front, Lehman coming into play, two up front with Hannah Kane.
He was brought down. A nice layoff by Shannon O'Brien, and you just wonder, certainly a free kick, but possibly, it was a good move for Leicester, possibly a little bit further punishment.
It's a dangerous area. I want to make something happen from this position, but I do think they've started confidently, positively, and just starting to higher up the pitch. I just mentioned before, they're guilty of really dropping off and playing with a sort of isolated striker, but today the likes of Lehman, Kane and Goodwin, a bit more fluid up front.
Tierney, oh, she went for goal. Well, would have been impressive. 30 yards out, caught it sweetly, but always rising just a little bit too high.
Yeah, it sounded great, didn't it? She did catch it well, but like I say, just over the bar, just leant back a little bit. Therefore, it was rising. Never affected Roebuck.
Intercepted by Neville. Tierney will collect. Saw the run of Missy Goodwin. Well cleared away in the end by Lynn Vilms up towards Chastity Grant. Lehman forwards. Once again, Aston Villa will clear, this time through Patton, but good little spell this for Leicester City.
It's good, they're looking positive, they're trying to move the ball forward, looking for those forward passes and just those final balls, isn't it?
Here's Goodwin. Just turned into traffic, but will be picked up by Alicia Lehman. Leicester have won it back. Villa really struggling to clear their lines here as Goodwin is eventually dispossessed and will be cleared away by Miri Taylor. Counter-attack stopped by Chantal Swaby.
Looking confident at the ball at the back as well. They're settled and they're on the ball.
She has looked lively in these early stages. Missy Goodwin and so have Leicester City. One of several Leicester players in this side who have Aston Villa connections. Former Villa player Missy Goodwin made one League Cup appearance for them shortly before signing for Leicester all the way back in January 2022.
Just did too much on the ball then. Missy Goodwin. Dispossessed by Lucia Kendall in those midfield areas, but like you say, looking lively at the start of this game.
Here's Neville. Leicester growing in belief, growing in confidence. That is what they need.
You can see a clear sort of organisation. That 4-4-2 from Leicester with Lehman and O'Brien in the front two. Hannah Kane on this right-hand side, Missy Goodwin on the left.
A little loose from Kirsty Hansen. Tierney down. Leicester free kick. Swaby. Oh, lovely turn by Lehman, and look at the space that she can advance into. Goodwin won't reach it, and that is an opportunity squandered for Leicester.
Yeah, it's disappointing, isn't it? Because like I say, it was a lovely turn by Lehman, the midfielder Park. Goodwin just wasn't expecting that ball, hadn't got the distances right, ran out of play. But again, positive play by Leicester. Definitely been the better team in these opening 15 minutes.
Here's nice swung up. Another big player to arrive at Aston Villa in January. You've so struggled to get into that Arsenal lineup under Renee Slagers, but hugely experienced player, USA international, gold medal winner at the Paris Olympics, only in 2024, as Villa just overrun that with Chastity Grant and Swaby. Lovely bit of calm footwork away from Kirsty Hansen.
Really good play from Leicester, and you could see Hannah Kane come in from those wide right position to help in those midfield areas, and that's what you've got to do when you're in this position, Leicester. You've got to work, got to work your socks off to really make something work, get something from this game today.
Well, let's head down pitch side, where Rick Passmore, the Leicester manager, is with Joe Curry.
Well, Rick, we've seen you out on the edge of your technical area. You've been very vocal. How happy are you with the first few minutes?
I think really good. It's a cagey affair at the moment. Both teams are trying to find their feet and find obviously their principles of play. But I think in terms of ourselves, getting to the ball, winning them duels, we're on top. So pleased with the start.
Enjoy the rest of the match.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Joe. Thank you, Rick. Agree with that, Lindsay?
Yeah, I do agree with Rick, and I certainly agree. He's been vocal. He's always vocal. He always has been. You can always hear him. But yeah, I think they've definitely been on top. They're playing further up the pitch. They're positive. They're definitely winning those 1v1 duels. So he's got every right to be happy.
Ball from O'Brien won't quite find Lehman. Going to take a little bit of a risk playing it right across their own penalty area. And it does eventually pay off just about as Jean-Francois finds that fellow January arrival Jenna Niswanger.
That's really good from Leicester there. Aston Villa are very good in the transition. When they turn that ball over, they look to break quickly, and the bout of bodies Leicester got behind the ball there to prevent Niswanger play between the lines was excellent.
Touch loose from the Ritz there. She wanted the free kick, the challenge from Neville. She's not going to get it, and that's a lovely ball from O'Brien to find Lehman. Former Villa player though, dispossessed well by Lucy Parker. Almost won it back. Neville's there again, but they're just sharper at the moment to those balls that are in dispute, Lindsay.
It was an excellent run from Lehman on the back shoulder of Parker. Just couldn't get past her. She had to delay her crossing because there wasn't any bodies in the box, and that's been another area where Leicester have got to do better. It was on for the cross for Lehman, but just not the bodies in there. But again, really positive play by them.
Well, they've not yet given up hope, those Leicester City fans, of avoiding finishing bottom, of avoiding that relegation playoff, with the team finishing third in WSL 2 as the WSL expands for next season. So up to 14 teams. A good move for the league, Lindsay?
Yeah, I think so, definitely. I think, you know, you can't do these quickly and you've got to take your time, but I think the expansion, we're ready for it, and I think the teams in WSL 2 are ready to come as well. We've got some great teams down in that WSL 2, the likes of, you know, Birmingham, Newcastle, Charlton, all vying for those places.
Yep, it's going to be a thrilling end to the WSL 2 season. 2 promotion places automatically up for grabs, and then that playoff as well. Here is Swaby, finds Ale. Away by Patton, and as far as Alicia Lehman, nice control.
It's interesting if that subconsciously, that sort of relegation battle, the playoff that you've got, if that subconsciously plays a part when you're in the league in WSL. I'm sure no team wants to finish bottom, but you've kind of got that second chance, haven't you? You've still got another opportunity to stay up.
Would it be in your mind as a player?
I just want to, you know, you don't want to finish bottom, no, and I have done that unfortunately in my career with Everton, and so yeah. But I think, you know, you've got that opportunity on the back of your mind that you've got that relegation playoff.
Yes, it does give a different complexion, no matter how much you try and just focus on it. Sense of a second chance, but this has been a focused opening to the game from Leicester City as they look to avoid that jeopardy full stop.
Yeah, I think they've started well. We've said that. I think they look, you know, a bit more positive too up front. Seems to be working for them at the moment. Particularly Lehman's look lively. Missy Goodwin's been on the ball a lot so far. And you just need a little bit of luck, don't you? When you're at the bottom and things don't tend to go your way. So if they can get a little bit of luck, Leicester might help them as well.
Here's Kendall. Now Noelle Moritz on her 100th WSL appearance. Nice one there. Jean-Francois. Nice one has continued her run. It's put away by Janssen. That's a miscontrol by Swaby though. Grant sees her effort blocks. Leicester might be able to counter, but that's not the right ball from Lehman.
Yeah, better from Villa, wasn't it? And it dropped kindly for Grant there. She put that pressure on Leicester. Hit it. We saw it last week. Hit the post against Manchester City with a half volley. She got a thunderous strike.
Kendall. Patton. Taylor almost turned into trouble, but Villa will alleviate the pressure. There goes Lucy Parker. Nice swinger. Put it on too with Moritz, but Moritz. Well kept in by Moritz. Looked for the clearance. Jean-Francois.
Just see Leicester just dropping slightly into that sort of low mid block, but really reducing the gaps between the units, making it hard, difficult for Villa to find those passing angles and lines to play through. That's what Rick Passmore will want from his side, out of possession. And you make it difficult for the team, for Villa to play through.
Midway through the first half, not too much goal-mouth action, but it has been a half that Leicester City will be happier with so far. Miscommunication there between Ale and Lehman. And they really getting forward in support of the attack, but in the end, Prisons just seemed to add a bit of confusion.
Yeah, it was a really good play. There was the Swaby, the centre-half stepping out, and I love to see that, you know, when there's grass in front, break that line from Villa, but yeah, just lack of communication from Lehman and Ale.
Come round. Coming round.
Well, despite that draw with Manchester City in their last match, Villa, they are winless in their last 6 games. They lost the previous 5 before that, hence the pressure that started to come again on Natalia Arroyo. To be fair, they did have some tough opposition in that run, Manchester United, Arsenal and Manchester City, but you still have to go back to January for their last victory against Brighton.
It's important that they stopped the rot last week against City.
Offside, well played.
They could be in behind here, but the offside flag is up against Chastity Grant.
We've just not seen enough of that, have we, today, from so far in the game, from Chastity Grant and Kirsty Hansen. They've got so much pace up front, and you know, they're always looking on the back shoulder of the defender. Again, just offside there, but you know, Chastity Grant's got a lot of pace to put that pressure on Leicester's back four.
Well, it is all ramping up in the WSL towards the end of the season. Catch all the weekend's action on the Women's Football Show tonight, 9 o'clock on the iPlayer. And in Europe as well, what action we have for you on Tuesday, the first leg of the quarter-final, Arsenal against Chelsea, live from the Emirates on BBC Two. It's good goalkeeping from Ellie Roebuck, denies Tierney. And then the derby in the WSL on Saturday. Manchester United against Manchester City, live on BBC One.
What a game that's going to be.
We will also bring you the Women's National League Cup final, Plymouth Argyle against Bournemouth, Saturday 3:20 on the iPlayer. Lindsay Johnson.
Yeah, what a game both of them will be, but obviously the Manchester derby, that's got massive permutations for both of the Manchester sides. Battle at the top.
Is it done, the title race, Lindsay? I mean, very emphatic wins for Manchester City and Arsenal yesterday. Manchester United getting that late winner, Chelsea dropping points, but it's Arsenal's games in hand. You've just got to keep half an eye on them.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, obviously, Manchester City in the driving seats, it's in their hands. They've got to, you know, win however many games to win that league. But like you say, it's Arsenal. Yesterday they won 5-0 and they kind of went under the radar yesterday with that win after Manchester City's big win and Chelsea dropping points. So yeah, it's still very interesting at the top, and those Champions League places are all to play for.
It's with the delivery, it was a decent one. Swaby got something on it. Knocked away by Tierney. Aston Villa will collect through Lucy Parker. Yes, it does feel, as you say, even though City are very much in the driving seat, that Manchester derby, were they to lose that, you just wonder whether the door is left open. It's going to be a huge game. It could be a pivotal moment, not just in the title race, but in the race for Europe as well, which is so tight. Do join us on Saturday, BBC One. 1:15 our coverage begins.
Ready, Hannah? Come on, come on. Coming across, Julie.
Here's nice woman. Hansen. No route to goal. Nice one is going to drive. Excellently blocked away. And Leicester City will bring it away. Good ball for Shannon O'Brien. A little touch off Lucy Parker, just stopped the flow of her momentum. And Taylor and Parker between them should tidy up for Aston Villa.
Good bit of play from Aston Villa. Nice one, and definitely getting involved now, liking to get forward and joining in those midfield areas, linking up with Kirsty Hansen really well.
That was sloppy. Taylor has it stolen from her. Then won the ball, I think, with the first challenge, but took the player with the trailing leg. And it's going to be a free kick to Leicester City.
No, if I've ever seen a frustrated challenge, that is one from Miri Taylor indeed, and not needed really. You can see she's frustrated with the slip, here, but it's a good challenge, good pressure from Shannon O'Brien. You can just see there that Taylor takes the back legs of Shannon O'Brien, and just unnecessary in that area. Just needed to keep pushing her towards the byline and out away from goal.
Yeah, it was a clumsy one in the end. Yellow card for Miri Taylor. Free kick for Leicester City. Can they make this early positive play count as we approach the half-hour mark in a game that they are so desperate to win? Raymond's made the run. Tierney instead is Janssen. Well, you could see what they were trying to do there, Leicester, just draw out of their defensive line and leave the space for Janssen, but they stood up well. Here's Lehmann as Leicester still come. Now Tierney, straight into the arms of Ellie Roebuck.
Yeah, comfortable for Ellie Roebuck. Just a bit of catch and practice, but again, positive from Leicester. It was a good set piece, like you say, there. Lehmann drew the defence away, but the ball just wasn't good enough for Janssen to get a shot off. It was good pressure in the end. You can just see the replay there. Nice, comfortable catch for Roebuck. Something maybe deflected into her eyes, though. She's just signalling to the ref that she needs some assistance there.
Yeah, she's certainly got a problem here, Ellie Roebuck. I wonder if it might possibly be a contact lens or something, or, as you say, a little bit of grit or something that's got in the eye. But chance for Natalia Arroyo to impart some instructions. Well, we do talk, don't we, about goalkeepers going down. It doesn't feel like one of those.
No, I think that, you know, if it was, she's very good drama skills there, Ellie Roebuck. No, I think there's definitely some in her eyes, and obviously it's important that she gets that cleared, so she's ready to play.
Well, it is, as we mentioned earlier, her 100th WSL appearance today for 26-year-old Ellie Roebuck. She is the 6th goalkeeper to hit that milestone in the competition's history. And out of all of those 6, she has more clean sheets at this mark than any other goalkeeper, currently heading for her 45th in 100 WSL games. And as we say, of the goalkeepers that have reached 100, that's the best ratio.
Excellent, you know, stats for Ellie Roebuck, and you know, you forget, you know, how, you know, where she's been. She's obviously was out in Barcelona for a period, came back over to England, and just trying to establish herself again. That battle we've talked about her with D'Angelo, she's just getting the nod at the moment.
Of course, she's had those health issues as well. That stroke that she suffered at Manchester City, recovered to full health with no lasting damage, but such a frightening thing to go through for anybody, but particularly a player in the mid-20s, as Chastity Grant won't reach that, and Leipzig will play.
Yeah, good defending from Leicester. Swarby just watching it, guiding it through. Good line from Leicester as well. A spark, don't they, Leicester? They need something higher up the pitch. Yes, they look more organised, resilient. They're really working in those 1v1s and 50-50s, but just need something up front.
And that be provided by Hannah Kane. This one helping out Parker, who can retreat into the penalty area. That won't quite be kept in by Ashley Neville. How hard is it for Leicester to continue to be brave when they know how much is riding on this game as the WSL's bottom side?
Yeah, it's a difficult one, but I think you've got to take risks. You really do, and they've looked really organised at the back four today. I think you know you can afford your midfield and your forward players to start a little bit higher, put the aggressive press on like we've seen from Lehman there, and really try and make something work around the box and create those opportunities. You've got to have more efforts on goal if you want to score.
Hansen putting the pressure on Swaby. Leipzig with the no-nonsense clearance.
Yeah. Let it in front. Let it in front. Got to work again, Elise. Go on, Elise. Good. Good work.
Leicester have kept Kirsty Hansen relatively quiet as well the first 35 minutes of this game.
Great work.
And it's a funny one with Hansen as well. She's scored 9 goals this season. For me, she's best if she's playing out wide. But obviously with the absence of Grace Daly, she's taken that number 9 role.
Brian Sorensen watching on, joining Aston Villa as a technical advisor earlier this month, the former Everton manager.
He wasn't out of a job for long. He not long left his role at Everton and he's going over here.
Well, it's interesting going from a managerial position to then being part of the technical staff. Tierney is down. Play continues for now. Leicester will have the opportunity to put the ball out if they want to, but Tierney already back up to her feet. And play on. Run this by Swaby. Jean-Francois. Had made the run, but it was just a little too much ahead of her. Actually, Neville back to Leipzig, who clears.
I think for Villa, they're lacking in width at times there. It's really congested in those central areas. I think Leicester are winning that battle in there. For Villa, they need to get the ball out wide to the flanks. The likes of Niswanger, Chastity Grant on that right-hand side.
Do have a couple of options on the bench, Villa, namely Ebony Salmon, but as Lindsay just touched on a couple of moments ago, still missing the likes of Rachel Daly, who hasn't played since mid-January. Their Player of the Year, their top scorer for the last 3 seasons. And they've got a host of absentees, as Leicester City are dealing with as well. They've got to deal with an Aston Villa attack here, and Hansen might be onto this, and she's round Leipzig, tight angle. What a chance. And all of a sudden, Aston Villa were in.
And that's what they're good at, those transitional moments. When they turn the ball over, they're always looking for Hansen. They do it here on the left-hand side, Villa. And that's that ball just on the back shoulder, the Leicester defender. And I was going to put money on Hansen to score from that acute angle. We've seen it time and time again this season. It's a really difficult angle, particularly when she's moving at pace and just hits the wrong side of the post for her. Good break though, just reminding us what Hansen can do.
I just wonder if she'd gone down. I'm not sure there was much contact from Leipzig, but she certainly wasn't getting near the ball. At the other end, Kane's delivery just about dealt with by Aston Villa. Moritz will complete the clearance.
Good from Hannah Kane on this right-hand side. Just probably needed to pick out a Leicester player there. Had a bit of time to do that.
And that's very nicely done again. It's Hannah Kane. It's Lehman against her former side. Gives Leicester City a precious lead in their fight to stay in the WSL. And you cannot say that they haven't deserved it. That's belief, that's courage, that's 1-0 against Aston Villa.
Excellent play from Leicester on this right-hand side. They kept the pressure on Villa, able to turn the ball over, and Kane had another chance, and this time she found Lehman on the top of the 6-yard box. She just pulls it back, and Lehman, what a composed, calm finish into the far corner. I was just saying, Kane disappointing she couldn't find a Leicester player. She found Lehman that time, pinpoint cross, And an excellent finish from Lehmann.
Her first goal for Leicester City since arriving in January from Como. And how precious could that be from Alicia Lehmann?
It's massive, and we talked about it in the game, what a goal for Leicester. I think, you know, before the game I saw a stat, they hadn't scored for 390 minutes. So to get that goal, in the way that they've done as well, they've been the better side in this first half for me. You know, they're the one who've been putting the pressure on, working hard in those midfield areas. That's going to do a lot for the confidence for the rest of this game.
How will Aston Villa respond? Aston Villa, who could so easily have taken the lead just seconds before. If Kirsty Hansen had managed to finish from that tight angle. Moritz, was she brought down there? No. Neville will bring it away. And this now is such a crucial period of the game, particularly for Leicester.
Yeah, of course. I think, you know, you're most vulnerable when you've just scored, so you've got to switch on. Far off from half-time, that'll be what Rick Passmore will want to half-time. But the way that they're playing so positive, they're on the front foot. Obviously Rick Passmore would want them to go and capitalise, get another goal. Yeah, it's really important that they have possession of the ball and don't back off, keep moving forward.
Keep the ball. Come back, yes!
Foul on Janssen. Leicester free kick. Well, he said before the game to our reporter Joe Curry, he wanted to see personality, character, mindset. And they have shown all of those things in abundance here this afternoon so far, Leicester.
He'll be happy and he'll be proud of what his side have done so far. Obviously there's a long way to go, but so far it's exactly what he's asked from his side. And the icing on the cake to get that goal.
And we touched on bravery earlier, didn't we, Lindsay? It's going to be interesting to see, do Leicester change their approach now in this game? Even at this stage, does any sort of game management start to creep in? Because so far, being on the front foot, being aggressive and being organised as well within that has been very effective. But mentally, once you get ahead, it can so often flip, can't it?
Well, when you haven't been ahead in such a long time as well, you're not used to it. Well, for me, if I was Rick Passmore, I'd be asking for more of the same from the side. It's working, it's positive, the team are proactive, and that, you know, that press, when to press as well. They're not just doing it for doing its sake, they're doing it collectively as a team.
Oh, go on, up again now, Sam! Can't let that happen midfield, come on! Drop in.
Here is Niswanger.
Well done. Stay central.
Patton. Films. That was loose. And Lehmann is steaming forward again. She's got O'Brien with her. Forced a little wide. Eventually, nice to get more blue shirts forward. Beautifully done by Shannon O'Brien. Lehmann's flick across. It will fall to Tierney. Urged to shoot. Can't find Goodwin, but Goodwin will eventually collect. Can Leicester keep up the momentum? Or is the chance going to trickle away as they work it all the way back to Swaby?
Again, Hannah Kane massively involved in this right-hand side. Great bit of footwork. Sent Niswanger the wrong way. Lehmann not far off, but Tierney just couldn't get her footwork sorted to get a shot off. Seemed reluctant to use her left foot. Brown were vying for it to have a shot.
That's nicely worked by Aston Villa. Good header away from Ashley Neville. Jean-Francois. Now Patton.
Chantal.
challenge by Wilms. It was strong but fair on Lehmann. Nice one go. Moritz. Just breaks down for Aston Villa, and Thibaut will find Neville. No free kick as Hannah Kane went down, and here's Taylor. Kicks the pass to Jean-Francois. Now Hansen. Nice one. Neatly done to Hansen. That touch was just a little bit too strong, and she won't quite keep it in. She thinks there might have been a little push in there, but Leicester have done enough.
I think it's good defending, and just watching Villa, the way they're set up at the moment, I think they are lacking in width in those wide areas. Moritz, for me, she's a natural sort of fullback and reluctant to come wide in those forward areas. So I think that's something that Natalie Aurora will have a look at half-time. We've got the likes of Ebony Salmon who can come on and play in those wide positions.
Well, there is certainly plenty to ponder for Natalia Arroyo. The Villa side have been second best in this half, and they trail by a goal to nil. Lead away by Naiswanger. Hansen will push, but just sit down to Kendall, and now Grant. Oh, beautifully done past Ale, who then pulled it back. And I think that might be a yellow card into the bargain as well, and it will.
Yeah, it's a definite yellow card, and if Leicester can, we just see the replay here, really great touch. Just past Ale, it's an obvious pullback, straight yellow card. I was going to say, if Leicester can get through this set piece without causing any damage, then, you know, Rick Passmore will be happy with that. Yeah, it's sort of professional foul. But it could be a costly free kick as well. It's a dangerous area.
Can Villa hit back on the stroke of half-time? Aston is in there. And the swipe from Shannon O'Brien gets the distance on the clearance.
They'd be disappointed, Villa, that they couldn't do more with that set piece.
Nice on his throw. Lovely turn by Moritz up against Neville, who's got to be careful. Swiped away by Swaby. And the body's in there, Villa. Jean-Francois will try and keep up the momentum. Kane with the foot in, Villa with the throw.
We've not mentioned much of Jean-Francois this first half. You know, the signing from Chelsea. Been such an impactful player last week, had a great game.
Nice one off Kane. Villa will have one more chance right at the end of this first half to level things up. Again, Wilms just about kissing the quadrant with the curve of the ball. Gets it back from Naiswanger. Leicester struggling to get it away. Lovely little back heel from Grant. She'll get it back. Naiswanger. Good take from Leipzig, and that should be that, and that is that for the first half. A very good first half indeed for relegation threatened Leicester City. Alicia Lehmann's goal against her former side, her first for Leicester after arriving in January, gives them a very deserved lead at the break. Lindsay Johnson.
Yeah, I agree, and I think Lehmann has been very effective this game. She's been on it from the start. You're always like that when you play against your former side, and there's a really well-worked goal and a deserved goal from Leicester. You know, they've been the better team this half. They've won the 50-50s, been better in the duels, been positive going forward. And I think, you know, Villa and Hansen, they've kept them out. this half and done a really good job defensively as well.
45 minutes away from their first victory since mid-December. At half-time, it's Leicester 1, Aston Villa 0.
Just the start that Leicester City needed. Lots of courage and grit and character. And Rick Passmore's side lead at the break, knowing that they're 45 minutes away from moving out of those relegation playoff spots. So let's just have a little look at the half-time stats. I suppose the key stat here and the key moment in the game, it means that they are ahead. That crucial moment for Alicia Lehmann. Ellen, exactly what Rick Passmore's side needed.
Absolutely. I thought they were so aggressive on their 1v1 press. Very different than what we've seen recently. They looked like they were being positive. They looked like they'd really analysed, actually, the Liverpool game, where they were slightly off in the press, something that we talk about at the top of the show. They had bodies around. They just looked up for it and ready for it and really put Aston Villa, I would say, on the back foot, which I think they needed to. You know, we said as well that they needed the 3 points. They had to. They obviously came off of a handsome, huge chance and then capitalised on that with the Lehmann finish. But just throughout the game, they were just front-footed, aggressive, confident. And I thought, you know, it really stifled Aston Villa at times.
And Anita, impressed with their shape today?
I am, yeah. I think that they've been really compact in midfield areas, not allowing Aston Villa to play through them and around their shape. And it's the triggers then for everybody around them, the fullback to jump, the wide players and all around the park. And that momentum of going forward and being aggressive just gives everybody on the pitch more energy.
We were waiting for that moment, weren't we? We were waiting for that moment for the game to spark into life. We said before the game it might be Kirsty Hansen. In actual fact, it wasn't, and it teed Leicester up perfectly.
Yeah, definitely. And, you know, it's such a disappointment for Kirsty Hansen because, you know, it's beautiful play in the pocket, a lovely run on the back shoulder, takes it round the keeper, which is the right thing to do, but she just can't quite get her left foot round the ball. And just, you know, I spoke about her being calm and composed. She wasn't quite calm and composed in that exact moment, but then Leicester capitalised, don't they, Anita?
Yeah, and it comes from a goal kick, a direct ball into a central area, flick on, and suddenly Leicester come to life. They're going forward in their numbers, and as they pick up the ball here and it comes out wide, it's a lovely delivery in from Hannah Kane initially, and they're still front-footed, pressing, you know, and letting Aston Villa know that they're on the back foot.
And obviously they get this throw in, they're direct, they're front-footed, they've got bodies in around it, they're moving, 1, 2, 3, 2, and then Hannah Kane there with that lovely run. What a cutback. And there's Lehmann, where, you know, this is her first goal for Leicester, obviously against her former team as well. It's a celebration to go with it, but this is what they needed. Someone in the right position with that end product, that final composed finish. They haven't scored for a number of games. It's been so frustrating for them, I can imagine, but this was so important for them, especially with the amount of chances that they created as well in the game.
There's always that question, are you going to celebrate against your old club?
Absolutely, 100%.
Definitive answer there straight away,
Didn't
wasn't
hesitate.
there? Yeah, absolutely. Let's just quickly touch on the quality in that goal. Hannah Kane, in that moment, just had the composure that was needed, and we haven't seen a huge amount of that today from anyone on the pitch. Exactly what was needed at that moment.
Yeah, I found quality in the right moment and timing, you know, to arrive with the right detail on the ball across the box to pick out Alicia Lehmann, who's arriving with the right timing and composure just to slot it into the back of the net. That's what they've needed to break this deadlock, and hopefully they'll continue that at the start of the second half with that extra added belief.
Were you surprised with the way Villa approached today, Els?
Yeah, I was, to be honest, on the back of obviously having a really positive performance against Man City, and I was thinking, like, that's your base level. That's every single week needs to be that performance, being compact, being on the front foot, and obviously creating a number of chances. But then you've got to credit Leicester, stifling them, being really compact, being quite physical, I would say. There's been quite a lot of fouls as well, so a little bit of disappointment. They were able to find a few through balls, but just not that end product.
They've only had 4 touches in Leicester's box. box, that is the signal for them that they need to do more. You know, Leicester have had 10 in their box, so they've got to step it up this half.
Really, really big 45 ahead, and lots of exciting stuff to come on the BBC as well.
OK, I'm going to warm you up for the day. You ready?
Let's get physical, Nathan. Oh yeah. Oh wow, I can't stop getting physical. Nathan, will you dance with me?
BBC Sounds, packed with personality.
So plenty coming up on the BBC. If you've missed any of the action this weekend, the Women's Football Show tonight has you covered. A chance for Man United to slow down Man City's title charge on Derby Day next Saturday as well. That's on BBC One. Also next Saturday on iPlayer, the Women's National League Cup final, Plymouth Argyle against Bournemouth. So much exciting domestic football over the next week, but it doesn't stop there.
A game with huge stakes. A derby with not just pride on the line.
Russo! Chelsea, it's a scorcher.
Al dente. World class! Carpenter goes for goal! Rivalries are renewed.
Well, the Champions League is back. 4 brilliant ties in the quarterfinals to look forward to. In El Clasico, 2 former champions, Lyon and Wolfsburg, going head-to-head. A repeat of the men's 99 final between Bayern and Man United. But arguably the pick of the bunch, Arsenal versus Chelsea. Both legs live on the BBC. The first leg at the Emirates on Tuesday from 7:30 on Tuesday. And then Wednesday, 1st of April, Stamford Bridge for that all-important second leg. Let's just throw back to yesterday. Some really, really important results in the WSL. And we're going to begin with Man City and Bunny Shaw. Another hat-trick for Bunny Shaw. She is so incredibly ruthless in front of goal. And we had a little chat in the week, Ellen, didn't we, about the fact that maybe sometimes Bunny needs a few chances to score. No problems yesterday.
Before this game, she had 95 shots, and after this game, she had 100, and she scored a hat-trick. So she's got pretty good stats, if you ask me. I would say she's inevitable. She's so clinical. She's got composure. She's got the physicality. She can generate power from a floated cross, which is quite a task as well in itself. I feel like her movement, she's constantly looking, where can I go, and then she's straight into it. She's on the front foot, but she's just a phenomenal talent, isn't she, Anita?
She's a prolific goal scorer that enjoys scoring goals and being that player that takes responsibility for a team. And, you know, as a defender, she'd be an absolutely nightmare to defend against, because she scores all types of goals. She's always alert and a threat in the box. And you just look at all her achievements so far in the WSL. It's outstanding what she's been able to do so far. And, you know, it's incredible, really.
31 headed goals. What makes her so dangerous in the box, Els?
I think the way that she creates her own space, obviously she's got phenomenal talent on either side, but she has to have that relationship and connection to be able to connect with the ball as well. Sometimes it will come with pace, so she doesn't need to put the pace on it. Then at times she needs to generate her own pace, so that physicality and be able to use your body to manipulate the ball and to get it into the right areas. She can go dive in headers, you know, she can just off her own, you know, jump. But yeah, I just really like her all-round game, and I think she's getting better and better.
Do you think it's also her will and desire to put her head in the way of things that some players don't always want to commit to?
It's unusual, isn't it? It's
as a forward. She
100%
goes for it.
Why is it unusual to see that from a forward?
You don't see many. I don't think you see as many headed goals as maybe you did years ago. I think, you know, maybe that anticipation of, should I put myself in that position? She doesn't care. She wants to score goals. Like Anita says, she loves scoring goals. And when you love scoring, you will do anything to put your head, your body on the line to get it in the back of the net, and obviously a hat-trick as well.
Felt like a really important result for Man City, just to get that buffer again, get a win off the back of a draw. But for Man United, a really, really important result yesterday as well. A 94th minute winner for them, just about to keep them in contention.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, they've got a massive Champions League fixture coming up, so to just build some energy and momentum back again in the right direction for them, really important result for them.
And it would have been easy for them to have a season just kind of peter out after the League Cup final as well, Els.
Yeah, huge disappointment for them not to obviously get the win for the League Cup final, then midweek to get a draw, which kind of puts them on the back foot. So huge result for them. Shows kind of their mentality and their togetherness. Obviously they conceded really late on to the equaliser, but then to keep going and get the winner, yeah, I think that would give them a lot of confidence going into the Champions League.
How big's the Manchester derby next weekend as well?
Huge. I think just for pride in itself, to be honest, but to keep themselves in the Champions League spots as well, in the WSL, and for Man City, it's a chance for them to keep pushing and put their name on the WSL title.
If we go more broadly and look at the Champions League places, at the moment it feels like the race is just kind of starting to kick into life. A great opportunity for Man United next weekend just to really establish themselves as one of the big three.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, from what they're trying to achieve is they want to be league contenders, they want to be in Champions League finals. This is what they got to do. They got to meet the best opposition and perform. But it's also a great opportunity for them to go on as well and recruit even more players into next season.
And Arsenal Chelsea coming up in the Champions League as well, Ellen. That will be an absolutely incredible quarterfinal. I mean, we're spoilt with the quarterfinals that we've got, but that one, the pick of the bunch for you?
I just said the word would be wild, if I'm being honest. It's just absolutely insane, isn't it? Chelsea, they haven't got their hands on it before. Arsenal, the current holders. Obviously a London derby. It's just phenomenal. And, anything can happen in knockout football, and a chance to obviously reach the semi-finals.
It does feel like we've arrived at the right point with the right teams in the competition, doesn't it? As we get to this stage, you're just looking at European heavyweights going head-to-head.
Yeah, absolutely. When you're seeing Arsenal in there, Chelsea, Lyon, clubs like that, Wolfsburg, this is the creme de la creme of Europe, and the matchups we probably expect to see. But now, obviously we're going to lose one of our English clubs in this next round, so it's going to be really exciting.
If we just turn attention back to things at the KP, I don't know whether you two felt this in the stadium, but after the goal, I became suddenly aware that this is going to be a really long 45 minutes for Leicester City in the second half.
It is going to be a really long 45 minutes, and they have to have all their experienced players drawing in on, those little moments. You've got to get the gamemanship, the sportsmanship. You've got to really hold on to something now, because a win is so important to push them out of the relegation spot.
A couple of really smart fouls just before half-time. That was exactly the gamesmanship you're talking about.
Asmita Ali taught her well, didn't I?
No, it's all you. It's all you.
But, she's a player who's experienced a dogfight in a relegation battle before, so she's also showing some of that experience and knowledge in the game to recognise the moments. You just need to slow the game down, the momentum for the opposition, and allow her team to regroup.
What will Rick Passmore be saying in there?
I think he'd be so proud of the group so far, but it's only been 45 minutes. It has to be for the whole 90 minutes. And for the crowd and everyone, for them, for the pride and togetherness, they need to get themselves over the line and get 3 points on the board.
The crowd will be really important, won't they? You felt them in the first half.
Oh, well, we were sat right in front of the Leicester fans, and they've been chanting, screaming the whole game, giving the players that extra boost.
Well, two defining moments in that first half. A missed opportunity for Aston Villa, and they were then immediately punished by some incredibly sharp finishing from Leicester City. Hansen going through on goal, just didn't quite have the composure that we expected in that key moment. And then going down the other end of the pitch, a wonderful pass from Hannah Kane, and Alicia Lehmann gets her first goal for Leicester City. Natalia Arroyo is now with Joe Curry.
Well, Natalia, there wasn't much in that first half. How frustrated are you, the team going in behind?
Yeah, well, we were not. The game was quite tight. Duels-wise, I think they were a bit stronger. That's what we talk about that inside, to try to match their intensity, their aggression, and fix some. Try to tweak some positioning things so that we can dominate more. 45 minutes to continue. We are still alive.
Is that the message? How you turn this around? Dominate more.
Yeah, well, let's see if they are as aggressive as they were, or they start to just defend the result. But yeah, that's not the best context. But 45 minutes and the extra time will be time enough to create chances. Just increase the tempo, play a little bit faster, and go for it.
Thanks for speaking to us.
Thank you.
Yeah, really important 45 ahead that could be defining for Leicester's season. Let's rejoin our commentary team of Lindsay Johnson and Vicky Sparks.
Thank you, Ben. Yes, a huge 45 minutes coming up. Leicester City have, in fact, won both WSL games in which they've taken the lead this season, against London City Lionesses, against Liverpool. Can they do it here today? Aston Villa, incidentally, have won just one WSL game when falling behind this season. That was against Brighton in January, their last WSL victory. So Ebony Salmon on for Aston Villa at half-time, replacing Miri Taylor, is on the ball here. A lovely bit of skill to get it past Swaby. Cleared away by Leicester, only as far as Orient Jean-Francois. No way through to goal. Here's Salmon once more, loose touch that time. But that is an attacking change from Aston Villa manager Natalia Arroyo, Lindsay Johnson.
Yeah, much needed if you ask me. We said, didn't we, just before half-time, there was just a lacking of using the width. And Salmon's come straight onto that right-hand side for Aston Villa. She will offer pace, width. She likes driving at defenders, those 1v1 situations, so bringing a bit more intensity for this Villa side.
And she had some great chances against Leicester in October, which was a goalless draw between Aston Villa and Leicester City. It's Villa who are pushing at the start of this second half. Wilms with the corner. And all the way it gets flicked in. Anna Patton was there at the near post. And Wilms takes the congratulations of her teammates as well. And quite simply, Leicester City just did not deal with it, and we're level, and we barely started the second half. 1-1.
Yeah, just seeing the replay here, Wilms, that near corner, and it's Patton deals with it really well, doesn't she? Teeny's just behind Patton. We can see Wilms whips it in near post. Patton wrestling with Teeny and just takes a touch to the outside of her right foot, directs it into goal and beats Leipzig on a near post, who should be disappointed with that, but really good bit of footwork from Patton.
Second goal of the season for her, having netted in the League Cup for Aston Villa. And a lovely, deft little flick, wasn't it, Lindsay Johnson?
Yeah, for a centre half, you've got to be pleased with that. She moved her feet really well. Teeny was all over her. Really good footwork from Patton and just directed it towards goal. Say Leipzig will be disappointed, and Rick Postma will be even more disappointed that they've come out at the start of this second half and conceded straight away.
And all that good work from the first period is undone.
Move it out there. Change the point.
And now this does become about personality, character and mentality, those words he used just before the game.
Of course, and I think, you know, there's so much left of this game, but for Leicester, the thought of the 3 points and coming off the foot of the table is what they want.
Here's Hannah Kane as Leicester look for the immediate reply. Hooked away by Nyswanger.
Got to draw on Leicester, draw on those, you know, positive experience from that first half where they were the better side. They did create opportunities, they scored a goal. Remember that they can do that.
Well, they have not scored more than once in any of their WSL games this season. They're looking to try and break that as Roebuck claims right off the head of Missy Goodwin.
Good, confident claim by Roebuck. Watched it all the way. Missy Goodwin really got the height to trouble Roebuck, but comfortable and confident hands from Roebuck.
Jean-Francois. Here's Salmon. Already making a difference off the bench. Now able to drive forward for Aston Villa. It's Nyswanger getting forwards. Hansen. Close indeed.
Really good break from Aston Villa. You see here, they're breaking numbers. Ebony Salmon running into that midfield area, and it was two choices there for Hansen. Could she play it out wide again for Maritz, I think, on her left-hand side? But they just stood off for Leicester, didn't they? And they just said, go on, have your shot. And it wasn't far off from Hansen. We've seen her this season score from those distances.
Well, it's the start she absolutely would have wanted. Natalia Arroyo to the second half from her side. Got themselves level Villa, and they're in the ascendancy. Salmon. Good break to Kirsty Hansen against Thibault, who times that very well at the expense of a corner.
Excellent challenge by Thibault. She watches Hansen all the way and fully commits to the challenge. But a really good start from Villa since half-time. And what's hard for Leicester as well is since Salmon's come on, it's a little bit more fluid between Hansen, Chastity Grant and Emily Salmon, which makes it difficult for a back four to pick those players up.
Well, the last corner produced a goal for Aston Villa. What can Vilms do here? Grant's come short. Got two on that near post this time, so far post goes Vilms. Poor delivery. Leicester goal kick.
Disappointing after their, like you said, their last corner resulted in a goal, but that one was a deep corner. Nobody else on the same page as Vilms.
O'Brien. That's a decent ball, but well covered by Lucy Parker. Stop Lehman bursting in behind. Away trips have been a bit of a struggle for Aston Villa of late. Defeat here would make it only the second time they've lost 5 WSL away games in a row in their history, also back in the 2021 season. They've got themselves back into this one. That was left by Tierney and Jean-Francois all the way back to Roebuck, who was quickly closed down. Whistle goes for the foul on Kirsty Hansen. Here is Patton, Villa's goal scorer in the second half, to Salmon. Just overran it there, straight into Sam Tierney, and Goodwin under pressure. Salmon will come back and pinch it from her. What a difference she's made coming off the bench for this second half.
Doubling up there as well, showing her defensive qualities as well, turning that ball over, and straight away her first thought is, let's move the ball forward in those transitional areas.
Yeah, they'll certainly be pleased with her impacts, those Villa fans, in this second half. Well, they've got another set piece here, Aston Villa. Films over it once more. Swansea also coming over as an option. Short from Niswanger to Vilms. Trying to work it here, Aston Villa, and they've done so. Ball across. Leipzig was there, came through a crowd of bodies, did well.
Yeah, well worked set piece from Aston Villa. See, they've worked on that in the training ground, but like said, was equal to it. It's going to gather that cross from Villa.
Well, he would have been hopeful in the first half, Rick Passmore, of ending his longest losing WSL run as a manager, 5 in a row. But it's Natalia Arroyo's side who found a way back into this one, and they're on top at the moment, Villa.
They are, you know, the start of this second half, they've definitely been on the front foot. They're looking to get the ball forward. Ebony Salmon has had an excellent impact so far on this right-hand side for Aston Villa. It was crying out for that in that first half. They were lacking that sort of width in the flank area, which brings that pace and intensity to this Villa side.
Looking at the Leicester bench, you wonder at what point you might see Rachel Williams back at the club where she began her career all those years ago. Of course, particularly at Manchester United, earning that huge reputation for being a super sub as Parker across quickly to stop Kane's charge. Here's Neville. No way past Moritz. Well, for a moment they were out of the relegation place, Leicester City, but as you can see there, they have slipped down again beneath West Ham. They still do have a game in hand, which could be so important and worth mentioning again. And it is playoff relegation place, because they're expanding the WSL next season. The bottom side in the WSL will face a relegation promotion playoff against the side finishing third in WSL 2. Of course, no WSL side wants to be in that, even if there is a bit of a second chance, as Chastity Grant wins the corner, and Leicester are fuming because they're saying that Grant has absolutely bundled over Thibault there, who's not complaining too much herself. Villa corner. What do we think, Lindsay Johnson?
I think, yeah, it was an old-fashioned shoulder barge from the forward, Chastity Grant, and you know, Thibault did go flying. But I think, you know, when you look at the replay, I think it's a fair challenge by Chastity Grant. She uses her body well. Wins a corner for her side.
Films again, looking to be the danger woman with this delivery. It's a decent one. It's cleared away by Thibault. Raymond can't latch onto it. Here goes Ebony Salmon. Oh, easing past Janssen. Cleared away by Swaby. Clearance almost completed and will be now by Missy Goodwin, but they are under real pressure at the moment, Leicester City.
It's too easy there by Ebony Salmon. Able to go past Janssen in that attacking area for Villa, but she hasn't half made a difference since she's come on. She's looking a little bit flat from Leicester at the moment, obviously conceding that goal straight after half-time, as it looks like it has impacted them. You just look at the possession there in this second half. Villa way ahead now with 66%. Second half definitely come out on the front foot. for nice one there, just caught a little bit.
Here we go.
An hour gone, 1-1 between the WSL's bottom side, Leicester, Aston Villa, who sit 8 points above them. Here's Kendall. It's dispossessed by Ashley Neville, who wins the free kick as well, and ironic cheers from the King Power crowd.
It's good defended by Neville. Two experienced players there, Moritz and Ashley Neville. Neither one wanted to give up that battle.
Yeah, big January arrival, wasn't that, for Leicester, coming from Tottenham. Now, she had played pretty regularly for Tottenham this season. There's Missy Goodwin. There's Neville. Villa with a chance to counter. It's Chastity Grants. Now Hansen. Still going Hansen. Tried to keep her footing, then stumbles. Now also closes down Swaby whilst appealing for the penalty. And referee Stacey Pearson says no. And Leicester keeping her way down the other end, but that's calmly read by Lucy Parker. Back to Roebuck.
Yeah, and that's what you want, just a little bit of needle there from Leicester. You know, it's a coming together, I think. The referee got it right. Hansen not happy.
But it is opening up a little. Here's Chastity Grant once again. Now Salmon. Films. Jean-Francois. Patton. Finds Parker. Nice one, that race to keep it in, and does so. And now Moritz. No way past Ashley Neville. Calmly done by Thibault. Neville. They're putting on the press, and Leicester can't eventually play their way around it.
And they get deeper and deeper, Leicester. You can see they're playing in their defensive third, inviting that pressure from Villa.
Swipe from Shannon O'Brien on Jean-Francois, deemed a fair challenge. Here come Leicester, and Lehman almost played in behind there.
And that's so hard. You know, when you're struggling, you're under the cosh a little bit. It's relentless a little bit from Villa at the moment. You know, wave after wave, and when you win that ball back and you give it away needlessly, as a defender or a midfielder, it's really difficult.
There you go,
I wondered when she would be introduced, and it's not going to be long now. You just saw her, you can see her white and red boots there on the touchline. Rachel Williams is going to come on for Leicester City.
She'll get a good chunk of time, Rachel Williams. Obviously we know the goal threat she can bring, but it's that leadership she brings as well, and the experience that she has.
Here goes Ebony Salmon. It's done really well, just about kept it in, Leicester, in term, or just about prevent the corner. Got to get rid of it though. And they are struggling to do so at the moment. And again, it's Ebony Salmon making the difference.
She's doing really well. As soon as she gets the ball, her first thought is to run at the defender. And because she got such good pace, as a defender, it's always hard trying to jockey her and run backwards.
Oh, that was almost left by Leicester, and it's been given as a Villa corner. Rachel Williams, final instructions perhaps. Nina Leitzig is down midway through the second half. And Rachel Williams has put her jacket back on. So 1-1 as Leitzig receives treatment, and it had all started so well in that first half for Leicester.
It's a really well-worked goal as well. It was come in, they'd had lots of positive play going forward, but here's the equaliser for Villa. And like you say, a deft touch from Patton, the centre half. It's beats Leipzig in that near post and set piece.
Well, if any side needs a momentum shift right now, it is Leicester City.
And like we just said, when you've got someone like Rach Williams' experience coming on, she's got the attributes to get a goal, but also that experience and leadership. She can be a real catalyst for Leicester.
Well, she's still got that jacket on. Well, Janina Leipzig is up to her feet. Katie Keane won't be required.
Lots of smiles going on. It's good to go, Leipzig.
So he's not yet going to make the change, Rick Passmore. He's going to wait for Villa to take this corner. It's always up for debate, isn't it, whether you make a change before a corner, but obviously Rachel Williams so good in the air that it will seem a little bit more straightforward, but not for now. Nice one, it is to send it in for Aston Villa. Has to make first contact and should make second as well. Good defending. Back in by Neiswanger. Lead away by Swaby this time, towards goal by Hansen, and Leicester this time get the distance. Moritz forwards. Here's Parker, still up from the back. Neville there to Marshall. And does well. Can't spring the counter though. And Villa have worked that nicely. Neville just with the toe in once again. This ball just won't go out of play at the moment. Kirsty Hansen might take advantage if she can keep it in there. Leipzig with the parry. Villa still come. Ritz sees the effort blocks and Lehman's stolen it at a vital moment for Leicester.
She had to take that off Lucia Kendall.
Here goes Missy Goodwin as Leicester get the bodies forward, but that was a poor delivery looking for Lehman. Chastity Grants will find Salmon to Grants. To Salmon. Grants continue to run. Hansen's up there as well. Teasing delivery. Behind off Thibault. Another Aston Villa corner.
Good work by Thibault. Villa, when those three players are on, Hansen, Chastity Grant and Emily Salmon, they must be the quickest front three in the league. And here we go. Rach Williams.
And she is coming on before the corner this time. Missy Goodwin, on her first league start of the season, having really struggled with injury during this campaign and had a bit of time on the bench as well. She is off. And 38-year-old Rachel Williams, re-signed in January from Manchester United. Back at her hometown club, joined them as a 12-year-old, began her senior career with them. Is on. And bringing all of that super sub reputation in recent years to the fore as well. First though, she's got defending to do, because Villa have another corner. It's Neiswanger. Decent delivery and Patton over. Oh, she's already scored from one set piece this afternoon, Anna Patton, and that was a clearer chance.
Yeah, that's poor defending by Leicester. Patton's left on her own, leaves a marker. Don't know if it's Ale who comes towards her. Yeah, not far off at all. Really good run by Patton. She's disappointed she didn't make Leipzig work.
Great run, decent attempt. But given the deftness of the flick at the near post that she did score from, might easily have been 2-1 up. Here's Lehman. Couldn't quite keep it in. They have to go for it, Leicester?
I think they do. I think they need the 3 points. You know, they've shown in that first half that they can do it, and obviously Villa have been better in this second half so far, but the 3 points are up for grabs today. what they've lacked in this second half, Leicester, is when they have got into Aston Villa's half, their final ball, it's been poor execution, and they've given the ball back to Villa. Sloppy at times.
Well, they are preparing another change in Leicester City. Aston Villa bring it away. Play it down, Villa. Had the option to kick it out. I'm not sure that Ebony Salmon realised that. And in the end, referee Stacey Pearson takes the decision out of their hands. This looks like a bit of a painful one for Lynn Bills.
It looks like she lands awkwardly. A challenge from O'Brien, and Vilms just lands awkwardly at the sort of lower back area.
She's up to her feet fairly quickly, Lynn Vilms. And she looks fine. Lovely bit of work. As was that from Chastity Gross. Here goes Moritz. Oh, that's a brilliant ball and a vital touch from Chantal Swaby to take it off the toes of Ebony Salmon. Otherwise, Salmon was in. And Villa had a super opportunity to take the lead.
Really good defending. It's an excellent run from Salmon. Very well timed run. And like I say, Swaby has to make that touch. It doesn't matter how small it is. And it takes it onto Leipzig and just takes it away from Salmon.
So here is this second change for Leicester City. Anna Janssen, January signing from Rosengard, who's been pretty quiet today. Replaced by 21-year-old Olivia McLaughlin, former Aston Villa player. Adding to the number of former villains in the Leicester ranks today, made 42 appearances for them. And to try and help Leicester City back into what would be a precious lead. If they win, they'll be out of the relegation zone on goal difference. It's Aston Villa who are enjoying the better of this second half.
I think it's the right time to make substitution, get some fresh legs on. McLaughlin, she's good, she's got a good engine on her, works tirelessly in those midfield areas.
Won't match onto that ball though. You see a Kendall will. What about the shot herself? She is going to go for goal. Brave defending once more by Swaby, who's down. Leicester looks to counter, can't do so. And Stacey Pearson is going to stop play with Swaby still in a heap. But again, she saved her side there.
And she's playing really well, and you can see she's just holding on to her right sort of ankle area where it took most of the force from that shot from Lucia Kendall. It was a really well-timed interception from Swaby.
You can see the strapping on her left thigh as well. She has been struggling with niggling injuries of late, but she is putting her body on the line here.
See here, just there, comes and gets that interception.
Might have been Thibault in there as well, making the block, but Swaby throwing herself in front of the ball too, going off worst.
And that's what you've got to do. It's, you know, it's 1-1, and Rick Passwell asked for that personality, grit, resilience. You're still in a chance of winning this game, but you need to do your defensive duties well.
Just over 15 minutes to play. 1-1. Free kick Aston Villa.
It's sloppy in those midfield areas. Villa have looked really effective and dangerous out on that right-hand side. Just seeing this foul here from Teeny on Chastity Grant.
Here's Patton again. Bit of back across. Leicester should be able to clear. Do through Tierney. She's making all the right runs from those set pieces, Anna Patton. Kirsty Nelson making a decent one down this left-hand side. Good block by Ashley Neville. Corner given.
Really good battle, isn't it, on that left-hand side for Leicester, right-hand side, sorry, left-hand side for Villa, right-hand side for Leicester. Ashley Neville working hard.
Films with the corner. Big punch by Leipzig. It's good goalkeeping. Here's Salmon. Oh, beautifully done. Cleared away by Neville. Helped away eventually by Rachel Williams back there defending, but Ebony Salmon has shone since coming off the bench for this second half.
It's really impactful, but yeah, Leicester can't leave. I think it was McLaughlin there on that right-hand side, come across. She's 1v1. You've got to go and support her from a Leicester point of view.
Ashley Neville has gone into the book for this slight rush of blood.
Yeah, it's a late challenge. He's not going to get the ball there.
Well, she'd done well with the first one, hadn't she? And I think that tempted her to launch in for the second one. But Swaby's got an issue here. As we say, she has been struggling with niggling injuries, and whether it's something in this game or something previous to this game, they might be forced into a change here, Leicester, and they have a very strapped bench to call from.
Yeah, looking back at that replay, possibly Thibaut makes the interception, and is it the way that Swaby lands and impacts that sort of right foot onto the ground? Obviously a pre-existing injury for her. It'd be a shame, because I think she's been very good at the back for Leicester today.
Well, in terms of other options on the bench, aside from goalkeeper Casey Keane, you've got Rosella Ayan, who's an attacking player, but then the youngsters, none of these have made their debuts. Emily Wall, Jenna Winnie and Baudrey King. That is how stretched Leicester City are. But if Swaby can't continue, they are going to turn to the most senior out of those players, and although she's an attacker, they'll have to reshuffle a bit with the other players that they have on the pitch already. Rosella Ayan, who has largely been used from the bench in around half of their league games this season after arriving last summer from Tottenham. He's preparing to come on, and this will necessitate a bit of a reshuffle, Lindsay.
Yeah, I agree, and just looking at the players that he's got on the pitch, you know, it's very attacking players, so be looking to possibly, maybe if he wants to keep that back four, are you going to drop Teeny in there or McLaughlin into that sort of back four area, or are you going to go into that back three?
One thing we can say, they're not going to play Rosella Ayan at centre half. I can confidently predict that, but let's see.
No, and you know, it gives them that option as another forward player on the pitch as well, if they are going to try and go and get those 3 points.
This is when you look at their defensive casualties. Swaby off, Ayan on, but no Heather Payne, no Surrey Case. Emily Van Egmond off at the Asian Cup. No Sarah Mailing, ineligible against her parent side, Aston Villa, from whom she is on loan. That is a blow, not just for this game. Swaby's played well, but going forward as well. The whistle goes, and Leicester win the free kick. Does that change things now in terms of what Leicester will be, I'm not going to say happy to get out of this game, but prepared to accept out of this game, or is it still sitting at the bottom of the WSL? They have to try and go for the win.
It's a difficult one, but I still think, you know, it's 1-1, you've got 10 minutes to go, and they've not created many opportunities in this second half. It's been predominantly Aston Villa, but I think, you know, bringing Rosella Ayan on the pitch, it offers them something else going forward.
There she is, Ayan, working it out to Kane, and now Lehman. Stretch won't keep that in. It's as you predicted, Lindsay. Santini has dropped back into that back four. This is how dominant Aston Villa have been in this second half.
Yeah, you can see there the shots from Aston Villa 5, and Leicester haven't got any in those touches in the opposition box in this second half. 14 from Villa. Leicester was only that small amount of 2 in the opposition box.
Still worth mentioning, they have not scored more than once in a WSL game this season.
Those stats that we've just seen there on the screen, that's what we're used to from this Leicester side. So, you know, I do think they need to take these risks now. If they want to turn their season around, they've got to be brave, they've got to take risks. They've got plenty of forward players on the pitch.
Villa will feel from that second half performance that they would be justified in hitting the front from the way they played in this second period.
There you go, Kenny! Come on, Rob! Go with the player, go with the player.
Free kick eventually goes the way of Leicester City. So captain Santini in for this free kick for Leicester. And they are committing the bodies forward. Well, there's no point putting on Rachel Williams if you're not going to make sure she's as far forward as possible in moments like this. They know that set pieces could possibly be decisive.
And again, if you're going to put those balls in the area, you've got to bank on Rachel Williams winning it and gamble and run off those, you know, onto those second balls.
Time off the ball, nothing on.
It is never. They are being brave, Leicester. Delivery though, straight into the arms of Ellie Roebuck. And the chance is gone. Here's Sam. That's a good ball for Kirsty Hansen to chase. And Hansen's in here. And it squirms past Leipzig. And Aston Villa hit the front late on through their top scorer, Kirsty Hansen. She's enjoying her best goal-scoring season in the WSL. And she's at it again. Leicester 1, Aston Villa 2.
And here, this ball from Emily Salmon just picks her out, doesn't she, in between the centre-half and the full-back. Hansen's speed, able to get on the end of it. It's that power which undoes Leipzig, who obviously would be a bit disappointed that she couldn't keep it out the back of the net. Like I say, it's the run from Hansen, but the ball from Salmon is excellent. Good team goal, but Leipzig will be disappointed she couldn't keep that one out.
And again, Ebony Salmon, so key. As Kirsty Hansen hits double figures for the season. What a hammer blow to Leicester City.
And it comes from, as we said, Leicester being brave, committing players forward. But in a team like Villa, when they've got the players like Salmon, who became provider in that scenario, but Hansen with their speed and the ball that found her, they're so good in those transitional periods. It's unfortunate, isn't it? Because you've got to take those risks in this position, if you ask me, for Leicester.
Well, Chastity Grant had a slight issue there, potential head injury. She's straight back up to her feet, but the referee had already called the medical staff on. So they'll check her over. Kirsty Hansen, what a season she's having.
She's been phenomenal. To get 10 goals this season. And here we go, we can see the goal there, and it's Jean-Francois wins that ball back, but this ball from Salmon, and the run you can see from Hansen in between the centre-half and Neville in that full-back position. She looks up, doesn't she, Hansen, to see if there's anyone to play the ball to, because she's having second thoughts about that shot, but you can just see here, she picks it up, and it's her first touch, puts it right on the way, and it's the powerful shot that gets it into the back of the net.
So Villa temporarily down to 10. Grant off the pitch as O'Brien jumps for that. Leicester's top scorer. Hansen making a nuisance of herself once again. McLaughlin deemed to have fouled her. And Aston Villa have the free kick, and everything is just starting to slip away from Leicester City.
Yeah, it happens, doesn't it, with not long left for them to get back into this game. There's still time left for Leicester, but they need the ball. Giving away silly free kicks isn't going to help.
So Chastity Grant is back on the pitch for Aston Villa, up to their full complement of 11. Here is Ebony Salmon. Knocked away by Ale, but only at the expense of the throw. Villa have Leicester penned in here. Done by Kirsty Hansen. Here's Salmon. Grant's on the move in the penalty area. Ale with the interception. Villa corner, and they are very much in control. Well, Lynn Vilms's deliveries have caused problems for Leicester throughout this second half. What can she do from this one? Films to send it in. It's not the best delivery, but Leicester haven't really dealt with it. And Jean-Francois blazes over.
Substitution for Aston Villa, coming off is number 23, Chastity Grant.
Now Aston Villa running down the clock, leading by 2-1. Chastity Grant is making way. Rachel Maltby will replace her. The 18-year-old turns 19 next week. Aston Villa's young player of the season last year. It has been a very different performance from this Villa side in the second half.
Yeah, it's been a game of two halves, haven't it? With Leicester being by far the better team in that first half, and then second half, the changes Villa made at half-time, bringing Ebony Salmon on. Really influential.
Into the action immediately. Dealt with by Ashley Neville. Thibault under a bit of pressure from Moritz. And Natalia Arroyo applauds on the touchline, as does Rick Passmore. But he knows his Leicester side are up against it now to get anything from this game.
It's been disappointing as well since they brought Rach Williams on. A good bit of time for her to get into this game. They've not been able to get her involved in the game so far.
Thibault with the unorthodox clearance, effectively executed. Jean-Francois. So we enter 9 minutes at a time at the end of this second half. Got to be honest, Lindsay, I'm not entirely sure where that's come from. We have had the goalkeeper stoppage, didn't we, with Leicester down. And a couple of injury stoppages, but 9 seems rather long.
Yeah, I agree. It's quite confusing, but we get 9 more minutes of football, which is always good.
And it gives hope for Leicester City. The bottom of the WSL will stay very much in that relegation playoff place unless they can wrest something from this game. Victory would have taken them out of that relegation place on goal difference. Right now, I think they settled for a point. Something to help them inch clearer to safety. Tierney's delivery. Well, they will let it run, and Leicester do not have the corner. The offside flag is up on the far side, and Rachel Williams in the centre has her head in her hands, because that was the moment that she'd been waiting for since coming on. A set-piece opportunity for her to try and get on the end of.
Yeah, her and all the Leicester fans here willing that to go out for the corner. It did, but obviously offside. Just nothing going their way at the moment, Leicester.
Free kick Aston Villa. And frustration now spilling over. Because if they are to finish empty-handed from this game, it will be bitter frustration for Leicester, bitter disappointment, and another bitter blow in their bid to stay in the WSL.
And it's disappointing again that they're not able to put 2 halves of football together and make it a complete performance.
Here come Aston Villa once more. It's Ebony Salmon. Might fancy it herself here, she does, and it's straight down the throats of Leipzig.
Really good run. She's so good at that, Emily Salmon, running at pace at the defender. You can see here, tries to come inside. Got plenty of time to get a shot off as well. Opens up for her either side of Leipzig just to make her work, but drills it straight down the middle.
And this seems like a good time to introduce your player of the match, Lindsay Johnson.
Yeah, I think, since half-time, the changes, Villa bringing Ebony Salmon on, I think she's been the catalyst for this Villa performance. She's worked really hard, been a real danger up front for Villa and caused all sorts of problems running at defenders. So she is my Barclays player of the match.
Yeah, always impressive when a player wins it, having come on at half-time, but you're right, she has completely changed the game. As Neville won't reach that. And time ticks away for Leicester City. They will still have a game in hand, Rick Passmore's side. They'll still be 3 points from safety, but you look at the games that his side have got coming up. They've got Brighton at home on Sunday, then London City Lionesses away, Arsenal away, Chelsea at home, and Everton away on the final day. And I think particularly with that Arsenal and Chelsea, those Arsenal and Chelsea games, a lot will come down to where those sides are in the Champions League, where the race is for Europe, possibly still the title, depending on what happens in the Manchester derby. Join us for that next Saturday, BBC One, 1:15, our coverage starts. But that is not the kindest of run-ins for a side that are so desperate for points and still have to go back to December for their last victory.
Yeah, looking at those fixtures, and particularly before today's game, you'd say today's game was the one where they could have really went for it and got those 3 points. And it looked so good in that first half. They played really well, got that goal, deservedly so. Well-worked team goal, but just the second half, Aston Villa just upped the gears, brought Ebony Salmon on and really changed the game.
But they are still pushing Leicester. Here's Rachel Williams trying to use her body to shield the ball, and has done so brilliantly, the 38-year-old. Here's Tierney now. Up on towards Williams once more. That was a good little header to Lehmann, who can't quite bring the ball under her spell. Nice swung her away, out of play, Leicester throw. Not done yet.
This is where they want to be, like put the pressure on. You've got, you know, Rach Williams in that area. Put it to that again, we've seen there, that throw in just epitomises this second half for Leicester, where that final ball has been sloppy from Leicester. They needed to keep possession. Just put Villa under some pressure. Unfortunately now it's a goal kick for Villa, and they'll waste some more precious seconds for them.
There was so much encouragement, as Lindsay says, for those Leicester fans in the first half, but it has all gone horribly wrong in this second. Credit to Villa. They come out looking like a different team. They head for their first victory since January. Unless Leicester can find a late leveller to at least get them a point.
Looking at it from Villa's point of view as well, you know, they had to stop that poor run of form last week when they got the 0-0 at home to City, and then to come away from home, possibly get the 3 points. It's a real good turn of form for them.
Long from Tierney, Ale's up there. Everybody forward now for Leicester, including Lehmann. Ale, Lehmann, she's going to go for goal. Locked away by Jean-Francois. Here goes Kirsty Hansen trying to run it clear up against Rosella Ayan. Neville gets involved. No way through, but they do retain possession, Aston Villa, and that's a very clever ball by Niswanger. Here goes Maltby. Ashley Neville using all that experience to take it off the toes of the teenager. All of a sudden we're end to end in these final stages.
It's opened up for Leicester. They need to. They've got one last opportunity, I think, for an attack on goal.
Thibaut forwards. Williams is up there. Not quite sure where it had gone. Cleared by Niswanger. Tierney wins the header. Here's McLaughlin. Dispossessed by Kendall. And Leicester are stretched. And look at Salmon. Kendall opts for Hansen instead. Not committing too many forward Villa, and Hansen may just run this into the corner.
That game management, the 3 points are really important for Aston Villa, like we've just said. With the run of form they've been on, they're trying to rebuild. Going to the corner, winning that throw in. Really good game management by Kirsty Hansen.
Her side on the brink of their first victory since January. Leicester with the throw. Is there time for one last chance for Rick Passmore's side? McLaughlin battling. Lehmann on the charge. Jean-Francois there, and Jean-Francois wins that battle. Forward by Kendall. Here's Maltby. Salmon. All they have to do, and they know it, Villa, is keep hold of it. And they're doing just that. Jean-Francois didn't get the memo, but there is the full-time whistle. A sparkling second-half performance from Aston Villa sees them pick up their first victory since January and deal another bitter blow to Leicester's hopes of staying in the WSL. It's not over yet, they're still in touch, but particularly based on that first half performance, this feels like an opportunity missed. It finishes Leicester 1, Aston Villa 2, Lindsay Johnson.
I agree, I think it was a really good first half from Leicester. Obviously carved that goal with Lehmann scoring a really good team goal and looked good in that first half, but that one change in particular that Villa made at half-time, Ebony Salmon coming on and switching the game on the head. She was a real catalyst and put Leicester under lots of pressure. Obviously got the 2 goals. That first goal just after half-time really changed the game for Villa. And I think over the two halves. Villa with a better team. Disappointment for Leicester, but obviously Villa really happy with the 3 points.
7 defeats in a row now for Leicester City. They've got to find a way to turn the positives of these performances into sustained performance and points quickly. But Villa triumphant. It finishes at the King Power Stadium. Leicester City 1, Aston Villa 2.
Just what the doctor ordered for Aston Villa, but more pressure piled on Leicester City. Some crucial moments in the game that ended up defining the entire match. Ellen White, so important. Those early stages in the second half, coming back out and maybe not just being as alert as Leicester needed to be.
Yeah, it's absolutely gut-wrenching for Leicester, and to concede in the manner that they did, obviously, like you say, right after the whistle in the second half, and then again a bit of a poor mistake for the second goal. You know, they were so positive, they were so direct. They got that 1-0 up in the first half, and then they just needed to shut up shop, be more clinical. It's just fine margins, Nita, isn't it? Just keeping switched on, clearing your lines, being touch tight, especially for corners, which you can control at times, can't you?
Well, they approached the game with the right attitude in the first half. We saw a lot of the character, the 1v1, individual battles all over the pitch. The first 5-10 minutes of the second half, you cannot afford to switch off and allow a team like Villa to find momentum, and they allowed that to happen, you know, and at this level, when you're in this dogfight, those basics, they have to be so much better at.
And it's particularly the case when you haven't been scoring. It felt like such a monumental effort for them to find that quality in the final third and get 1-0 ahead.
Exactly, and you know, one of the stats was they haven't scored 2 goals in a WSL game this season, so it's already an uphill battle for them to find inroads in games and find a way back to create chances and therefore go on and score, and then to concede off a set piece, which again they would have prepared for in the training pitch, it just makes it that much tougher for them.
Did you feel once Aston Villa come back into the game that it sucked the life out of Leicester there? They didn't have enough to go again?
Yeah, it did. It felt like they lost a lot of the momentum. Ebony Salmon made a big difference coming on at half-time, just positive, dribbling, gaining yards for her team, putting balls in behind for Hansen to run onto, finding lovely pockets of space, which then Leicester was going on the back foot a little bit. They found a little bit more momentum, in the last kind of 10-15 minutes, but couldn't quite get that cross in the box, that end product, which we saw also in the first half. So real frustrating afternoon for Leicester, but great for Villa.
Well, that full-time score wraps up the match round, and that does mean that it leaves Leicester in a really difficult position. At the top of the table, Man City, another really impressive win there, 8 clear. Arsenal with a huge victory over West Ham that opened the door just ajar for Leicester today, but they couldn't take that opportunity. Chelsea lose more ground in the title race, and you can see one other game today. Brighton and Liverpool played out a 0-0 draw. Let's have a look at the table. So at the bottom of the table, Leicester City still sitting 3 points adrift, and now crucially as well, another goal that they just couldn't afford to give away, which changes the goal difference, which means it's an even bigger uphill task for Leicester. Aston Villa up into 8th. Anita, let's just talk through the story of the game very, very quickly. It felt as though Aston Villa just did enough in that second half to get their noses back in front and take momentum. Yeah,
I think they learned a lot of lessons from the first half. They knew that they needed to up their intensity, get the players in the right position, start feeding balls into Hansen. Obviously, Ebony Salmon came on and was that impact player, and it was a bit of a spark to sort of drive their attacks going forward, and Leicester didn't quite adapt to that and therefore nullified their threat.
Well, it certainly changed at half-time, and certainly with the introduction of Ebony Salmon, who was player of the match today. She's with Joe Curry.
Well, Ebony, you just told me that you're exhausted, but congratulations on the victory. It looked like Leicester really made you work for it, but you're taking 3 big points back to Birmingham, aren't you?
Yeah, definitely. I think we knew this wasn't going to be an easy game. We're both fighting for something in the league, and yeah, the first half didn't go how we wanted it to, but we managed to turn it around in the second half and take home the 3 points.
As you say, the second half was a much improved performance. I'm sure it's no coincidence that is when you came onto the pitch. That's what we're going to say anyway. But what did Natalia say to you at that point about what she wanted to see from you when you stepped onto the grass?
Yeah, she just wanted me to go 1v1, trust myself and create chances for the team, and I think I was able to do that when I came on.
I was going to say, was it a happy team talk? But that's happening behind you right now. But as a team, how much relief are those 3 points?
Yeah, I mean, I hope it's a happy team talk. We got the 3 points. Again, it wasn't an easy game, but the aim of today was to get 3 points, and it doesn't really matter how the game went for us. We managed to do that.
You're up to 8th. You're level with Everton in 6th. 4 games to go. What more can this team deliver this season?
Yeah, I think we know the season hasn't gone the way we wanted it to so far, and I think with the games left, we just know we need to push on, pick up as many points as possible and climb the table as much as we can this season.
Well, look, I know you're tired, but I hope it was worth it because you are the Barclays Player of the Match. Well done.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
A really impressive performance from Ebony Salmon, and another impressive performer on the day, Kirsty Hansen. Thank you so much for joining us. Just talk us through how much of a battle it was out there today.
Yeah, we knew it was going to be tough. We obviously had the relegation battle last season, so we knew they were going to come out and fight in today, and you could see that. But our first half wasn't good enough. We knew that, so fixed a few things at half-time and just came out fighting, and we got 2 goals, so luckily got the win and very happy for that.
Now, I'm sure you've scored more beautiful goals in your career, but can we have a little look at this one? Because the run itself and the positioning got you into a great spot.
Yeah, well, Ebbs has got the speed. Well, I had to bring it. Somehow I had the legs, but Ebbs, I saw her put her head up, and I was like, just play it. And I had no one in the box, so I just whacked it as hard as I could, and luckily it went in. I mean, the rest of my game, I wasn't pleased with it because I had a chance in the first half, I had other chances, and I don't know, luck was on my side and it went in, luckily, but I'm very, very happy for the team as well.
You've had a great season. This is your 10th goal.
Yeah.
So, you know, for you personally, you know, what do you feel you've maybe changed or adapted, or you know, you're performing so well? Is it your team? Is it the training? Is it the repetition on the training pitch as well?
Well, it's just the belief the club, the team, the staff players have in me, and also I'm playing a more central role now. I've been more on the wings in the beginning of my career, but I've played striker before, and I think it's nice you have more freedom up front, don't you? As you know, and I think when you see the goal, I think you only have like the rest of the team's done the hard work, and you're like, you need to finish it off for them. And I've luckily been in those positions this season and paid off sometimes.
Scored some good goals as well.
Yeah. You mentioned earlier that you missed an earlier chance in the first half. How do you just put that behind you and keep making the right runs, keep trying to put yourself in positions that you can create chances?
Yeah, I think I was really frustrated, but in my head I was like, it'll keep coming, it's coming, Kirsty, it's coming, and had another one, I was like, it's coming, Kirsty, it's coming, and you just have to keep going. The whole team did really well today, and I just had to make sure I had to keep working hard for them and they were putting in chances, and I took my chance, and luckily it went in, and I'm just happy that hard work pays off.
Can we just finally just talk about the season on the whole? Where do you want to go now with just so few games left to go?
Obviously finish off strong. We had a tough run, but last week I think maybe it's kick-started us into finishing off the season strong. We want to keep climbing up the board and hopefully messing it up at the top as well.
Kirsty, well played today. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone.
Well done.
See you later.
Well done.
See ya.
Kirsty, let me grab that mic from you. Thank you so much. If we just go back to the beginning of the game, I mean, Kirsty mentioned it there. It was fascinating to see the way that the ebbs and flows of that game were encapsulated in a 2-minute window.
Yeah, absolutely crazy, and obviously she's really frustrated with her miss, but I think credit to her and that mentality, because it's really hard sometimes as a striker to push it to one side and not think about it too much. For Kirsty, obviously she puts herself in a great position, her tenacity and her ability to take it around the goalkeeper. It's just that final composure, which we've seen game after game this season, and I think for her it was credit, you know, she kept making their runs, kept putting herself in the right position, and obviously she got the goal in the second half, but Leicester took advantage.
Yeah, and I think, you know, you see here when Leicester, Hannah Kane fires that ball across again, the composure to pick her head up, pick out Alicia Lehman, and it's a really composed finish. But the second half, we saw after Leicester really were on top largely in the first half, Aston Villa found a way to find a way back into the game.
And enormously frustrating for Leicester, having done all of that work, having got their noses in front, that it was a set piece, as you mentioned before, Els.
Yeah, I just think, you know, we've spoken about fine margins, decision making, and especially coming out in the second half. You know, those first 5 or 10 minutes, you've got to stay, you know, you've got to not concede, basically. And I think that was a huge frustration for them. And this is the second goal with Ebony Salmon, a beautiful ball in behind, and then Kirsty Hansen, a bit of a scruffy finish, but anyone will take that. She's putting herself in the right position. She's on the back shoulder of the centre half. Ebony Salmon changed the game, that impact, and this is where, you know, she really comes alive, Kirsty Hansen.
Well, Salmon becomes provider. She's used to being the one stretching the game and running behind, but it's a lovely assist from her, and really Hansen puts it exactly the only place she can put it, really. So I think Leipzig would be disappointed that she wasn't able to make a save.
Should we just go back to that 1-1 goal, because it was so quickly after the break? Is there any reason why that happens when you come back up, maybe a little bit cold?
Maybe just a slight lack of concentration. You know, you've had so much information maybe at half time, you're not quite switching on, but this is the difference between fine margins and teams in and around the relegation. You have to be switched on for 90, what was it, 8 minutes, 9 minutes for this game, and if you switch off just slightly, Villa, other teams will capitalise on that.
Let's just touch a little bit more on Ebony Salmon. She comes into the game, and I always think it's really, really impressive when you see a player like that can get up to the speed of the game in no time at all.
Yeah, absolutely. I think she obviously had the right mindset off the bench, watching the game, probably recognising the spaces that she could come in and exploit. And this is where she's at her best, when she's 1v1, committing defenders, trying to get deliveries into the box, driving because of her dribbling ability as well into central areas and connecting and combining with that front line. And again, you know, created an opportunity from that. Again here, being able to make sure that she can face the game. Suddenly you got defenders backpedaling towards their box and just constantly trying to find space and opportunities to play forward. And I think that's what impressed me most about her positioning in this game today.
Yeah, I just think she forced Leicester to kind of go wider and be stretched, which meant more pockets of space were open. They were more compact in the first half, Leicester, but then when someone comes on like Ebony Salmon who wants to run and dribble, it kind of stretches you and it forces you to go out of position at times and a little bit disjointed, and Leicester couldn't get back into their rhythm and get back in that compact shape. But credit to her for making a huge impact.
And it changes the perception of everything for Aston Villa in terms of where they are in their table. You just sort of look at it and think they're nothing to do with the conversation anymore. For Leicester City, a totally different proposition right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I think for Leicester City, this was an opportunity missed. They've got some big games coming up. They've still got to face Brighton, London City Lionesses, and then Arsenal, Chelsea. So this is really the game where they really needed to get points from, and they weren't able to find it.
We've spoken before as well about their home form being really, really key. It felt today that maybe they didn't quite take advantage of the fact that they had the atmosphere here, they had the crowd right behind them as well.
Yeah, I just think they're just lacking in confidence. The fans were great, they were noisy. I think just that sucker punch of the goal in the second half just really could kill their momentum and confidence. And for them, they need at least a point or something to give them that momentum and confidence going into the rest of the season. They're not out of it by any stretch of imagination.
Not at all.
You know, they've still got 3 points to kind of chase West Ham and Liverpool. So this isn't down and out at all. They need to galvanise and stay together, because the results will come with the performance, especially in that first half.
I wonder how difficult it is for their strikers at the moment when you're getting so few chances, and maybe for someone like Rach Williams who comes on into the game, she's not going to get a huge amount of ball in the final third, is she? So what do you do if you're a striker to try and find some rhythm or momentum?
Repetition in training, having those conversations, and you've just got to try and be there. You've got to work hard, you've got to be tenacious, you've got to put yourself on the line, you've just got to keep making those runs. It will happen, it will come, it's just going to take time, and you've got to be patient, which is easier said than done.
And I think for the players that are trying to feed in their forward players, they've just got to be better with the detail. You know, the pass appreciation today was quite poor, and the decision making in the final third is what's going to help the forwards get more high probability chances that they can actually finish.
What would you be doing this week, Neats? Certainly defensively with the group. They've got another huge game coming up at home next weekend. What would you be working on?
Well, I'd be trying to build the team morale and the spirit. You know, you'll still be doing fun activities to keep them bonded and together, but that passing appreciation, focusing on the detail, focusing on the timing, the body shape, how they're receiving under pressure, because those fine margins is what's going to get them a little bit of a leverage to go, actually, we can do this, we can fight, we can be tight and robust and be diligent, because we saw that. Their pressing game, unbelievable the first half, just wasn't able to keep that up consistently.
And you spent some time with Leicester over the last week or so and with Rick Passmore. Do you think that they have enough culturally to drag themselves out of this?
Yeah, it's a great group. They seem very together. They seem to be working hard on the training pitch, in the gym, if I get my words out, in the classroom. So they are together. It's just about finding their results, those fine margins, like Anita said, that end product, pass appreciation, being compact in defence, being able to press when they can. But yeah, I feel like they just need something. They just need a point, a performance, something to just give them that momentum, that confidence.
Well, Rick said to you, you just want one to bounce off your knee sometimes.
Exactly. Anything. Head, anything. Just get it in the back of the net, 100%. Yeah. And hopefully it will come soon.
Well, guys, thank you so much for joining me today. Thanks to Neitz and to Ellen. A really difficult day for Leicester, but Aston Villa go ahead and reignite their season. We'll see you all next time.
Oh,